Hey there, knuckleheads. Welcome into the Kickin' It with Kids podcast. And I'm your host, Mark Kiszla. It's always a good time to live in Colorado, but it's a especially beautiful time to be a sports fan in Colorado right here, right now, because you have the Avalanche and the Nuggets both chasing a championship at the same time. I want to know what's the big deal. The big deal this weekend, with the Avs having a few days off, are the Nuggets. The Nuggets go to round two against Minnesota. Yeah, maybe Minnesota doesn't have the cachet or the LeBron that the Lakers do. But T-Wolves versus Nuggets, I guarantee you this. It's the rivalry that NBA fans didn't know they needed. You're going to love this series. It's going to be a tough series. But these two organizations are so intertwined, know each other so well. That's a family feud. It's Hatfield versus McCoys on the basketball court. We start here. Tim Conley built the Nuggets. He's the general manager who drafted Nikola Jokic. He's the general manager who drafted Jamal Murray. He's the general manager that left, took the money and ran right before the Nuggets were ready to win the championship. He went to Minnesota. He started building the Timberwolves in the image of the Nuggets, and he's done a pretty darn good job. He faces his old assistant, Calvin Booth, now in charge of the Nuggets, and Calvin deserves a lot of credit because he was the brainchild that brought in KCP, Brucey Brown, and made the Nuggets the defensive team that won the first championship in franchise history a year ago. Now these two teams square off in the NBA playoffs. They're from the same division. They played a ton of great games already this year, and they know each other so very, very well. For example, Joker, very close to T Wolves assistant coach Micah Nori, who was his first summer league coach way back in the day, 2015. Chris Finch, who just messed up his knee in a collision on the sideline, um, is the head coach of the T Wolves, and he once worked on Michael Malone's Nuggets staff. So there are no secrets between these two teams, none at all. And the star power is evident. Think about this. For the first time in nearly 20 years, there will be a May in the NBA playoffs, the month of May, without Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, or LeBron James. The old guard is gone. Right here, right now, it's time for Joker and this young player from the T-Wolves that you're going to get to know. And if you're a Nuggets fan, you might be cursing his name, Anthony Edwards. The Nuggets beat the old GOAT, LeBron James, who's awesome, but on his way down in the first round. It's going to be much tougher for the Nuggets to beat Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, who's the next great one in this league, on his way up. And you want to know the secret to this series? It's this. I know for a fact that both organizations have a pretty strong idea, from coaches to the front office, that overall, the T-Wolves are a better team. They have more depth. They have the better bench. The Nuggets have a great starting lineup, but where the Nuggets have the real advantage is that two-man game, the pick and roll that we've seen between Joker and Jamal Murray, a pick and roll, a two-man game like we haven't seen since when? Stockton and Malone, maybe? So quarters 1 through 3, the T-Wolves may have a distinct advantage, but at clutch time, when it's all about that two-man game, there's nobody better than Joker and Jamal. But as Michael Malone said, the Nuggets would be ill-advised to be giving the T-Wolves a 10-point, a double-digit head start the way the Nuggets did against the Lakers. The Nuggets got away with that against the Lakers, but that ain't happening against the T-Wolves. You're going to love this series. Welcome back into the Kicking It with Kiz pod. This section is a little section I like to call Wanna Bet. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. I'm certainly not going to tell you how to lose your money because I am no gambler. I gamble in the stock market, not on basketball games. I go with what I know. And you all know, especially those of you who've followed me for decades, that I don't know nothing about basketball. I don't know nothing about hockey. I don't know nothing about any sport. But I do know this. Y'all love to gamble. So each week, we're going to take a little look at least one prop bet for the weekend that you should consider and look at both sides of the issue, and then I'll let you decide. I mentioned in the first segment the young star from the T-Wolves, Anthony Edwards, number 5, Ant-Man, 22 years old. He's the next great one in this league. I'm pretty darn sure of that. This season, the fans down in Dallas were moaning. They were something else in moaning, but they were definitely moaning that Joker shouldn't win the MVP this year because the outstanding guard for the Mavs, Luka Doncic, should win the MVP this year. Had the stats. Well, I got bad news for Luka. Joker's going to win the MVP this year. And before Luka gets a chance to win an MVP, Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, might go right on by him. How does that affect this series? We need to see if Anthony Edwards is ready to take center stage in the NBA playoffs. Now, he was amazing in round 1. Against the Suns, Ant-Man averaged 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. 31, 8, and 6. That ain't messing around. That's Jordan-esque right there. Our man Joker against the Lakers averaged 28 points, 16 rebounds, and 9.8 assists, nearly a triple-double over the course of 5 games. Why did I mention both of those triple-double stats for both men? Well, here's the reason. I did a little research on prop bets. And in game 1, which is Saturday, game 1, there's an over-under for each of the superstars on each of these teams, in which the over-under is the combination of points, rebounds, and assists, the triple-double numbers. The over-under for Edwards is 39.5, 39.5. Let's see. Against the Suns, 31 points, 8 rebounds, that's 39, and 6 assists. He averaged 45. 39.5. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I will tell you this. Aaron Gordon told me when I asked him about Ant-Man, he said, that right there, he's a bad boy. And KCP, who will check Ant-Man quite a bit, told me, can't gamble against them, have to keep that Ant-Man in front of you and contest every shot. So KCP doesn't want to let Ant-Man drive. He'd rather live with a contested jumper. If the Nuggets can hold Edwards to under 39 and a half in points, rebounds, and assists, they're going to win game one. But if he goes over that number, the T-Wolves just might come into Denver and steal game one. Hey, y'all, last segment of the Kickin' It with Kiz pod. And this is your segment, Supporting Shot. It's where you, dear listener, dear viewer, and dear reader, get to call me a knucklehead. I can take it. The letter this week is from my dear friend Michael, loyal reader, and somebody that's full of snark, so I love him. Dear Mr. K, I believe you should give max credit to Michael Porter Jr. and his road back to being the player the Nuggets paid for, and his ability to overcome personal adversity. You never were shy about bagging on him for the last several years, so it'd be cool for you to throw some love his way. Michael, my dear friend Michael, you are absolutely correct. I am guilty as charged for bagging on MPJ in years past. As a youngster, I didn't trust him any more than Michael Malone did. I thought he was a shooter. I didn't think his handle was very strong. I didn't think he got to the basket very strong. I didn't think he was interested in playing defense. I didn't think he was a max contract player. I didn't think he was any of that. But to tell you the truth, he's been all of that in these playoffs, all of that and more so far. In the first round, as great as Jamal Murray was in the final minutes of the series, each and every game, particularly the two games in which Jamal made a shot at the buzzer and made a shot with a couple seconds remaining in the fourth quarter to win two of those games, Jamal got credit for being the hero. But let's be honest, Jamal, throughout the series, shot the ball very poorly, and the Nuggets offense suffered as a result. Why did the Nuggets offense stay afloat? My man, MPJ. Against the Lakers, he averaged nearly 23 points, more than 8 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. He's still not a great defensive player, but he works hard on the defensive end now, and I got to give him his props. And as a three-point shooter, as Joker says every time MPJ puts up a three, we all think it's going in. So MPJ, here's to you, buddy. Keep it up. Hey, thanks for joining me, you knuckleheads, for this first pod since I've joined the mighty Denver Gazette. I appreciate you all, and I want to leave you with words of wisdom from a great American poet. Windows are for cheaters, chimneys for the poor, closets are for hangers, winners use the door. So use it, you knuckleheads. That's what it's there for. See ya.